went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
Some kid said he was gonna shoot up the school and anyone that was wearing red would be shot. So this is my outfit for that day. And my school told us to not be scared because
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
We had a gonorrhea outbreak because of the toilet seats in the girls' bathroom. The girls' locker room literally always smelled like period blood and feces. In the back handicapped locker room shower, there was a used condom in there for 4 fucking years, and we would dare each other to go in there and pick it up. I once caught my English teacher smoking a blunt behind the school's gym. The guidance counselor had a pill addiction. My history teacher never went to college. This one time, a 7th grader punched the principal in the face and called him a pussy-ass, bald-headed bitch. We received 2 bomb threats in 1 year, both of which were from students, might I add. The teacher would have a hangover, we would literally gamble. Literally, we would gamble. We would play rook and spades and poker, and we would bet real money. I've literally won about $100 and a lot of Ninja Turtle watch playing some fucking poker in class. These 2 7th graders would literally fuck in the girls' locker room at school every day, and she ended up getting pregnant. Asking you shall receive. This one guy in my senior class was selling copious amounts of drugs, and the police eventually got called on him because he sold bad drugs to one of the teachers, and K9 dogs and everybody got brought out. He grabbed all of his shit, ran down the road, and didn't actually get caught. Good for him. My history teacher that didn't go to college in part 1 tried her damnedest to convince me that Al-Qaeda had been planning 9/11 since 1482. I'm not fucking kidding. My homeroom teacher senior year got fired from his last teaching job for watching porn on the school computers. Someone managed to download the entire series of 50 Shades of Grey on the school's Kindles. They didn't delete them. The vice principal got caught embezzling money from the school, and instead of losing his job, they just demoted him to math teacher. This one time at lunch, I got an apple with a maggot in it. I'm pretty sure I still have the picture on my phone somewhere. Chunky milk. For Halloween, my pre-cal teacher came to school in a full Colonel Sanders cosplay.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
Yay, more traumatizing childhood stories. So one time my school was doing an Alice drill, which is basically how we practice for a situation with school shooters. You know, we did a lot of these. So our teacher tells us to barricade the classroom door and hide under our desks. Looking back at it, that doesn't seem very effective. So we're all grabbing a bunch of desks and tables and just putting them on the front door. Everybody hides under their desk and puts their backpack in front of them. Then a random security guard from the school was supposed to be acting as a school shooter. He's around in the hallways with a fake toy gun that made the sound of a gunshot and started shooting around our classroom. Now, this might sound bad enough, but y'all, it gets worse. While we're all under the desks hiding, some kid turns to me and says, "It's okay, you guys. I know we're all safe. We have Muhammad." So I look back at him and say, "What the fuck is that supposed to mean?" Well, if they start shooting, all you have to do is just blow them up, right? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yet through all of this Islamophobia and the corrupt school system, some kid thought it was a good idea to blast Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
Freshman year of high school, a kid literally threatened to the school with an AK-47 on Snapchat and said, "Do not come to school tomorrow." Of course, outraged and afraid, everybody's parents started calling the police. A little bit later in the nighttime, school district sent out an automated message on the phone saying that everything was safe and okay. Your kids could come to school tomorrow. I didn't go to school the next day because he posted an AK.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
My one teacher got fired for being a literal pedophile. He would message students on Facebook and ask if they could get dropped off at his house because he was lonely and intoxicated. My other teacher used to snort Xanax in his car, and he thought none of us knew, even though he was always 15 minutes late to class. We also had to walk outside to get to his class, so we would see him snorting the Xanax in his car. I once saw an underclassman get punched so hard that their jaw broke because they spit on a senior's shoe. There was once a chemical gas leak in my school, and no one knew about it until this girl passed out in the science lab. This one time, a teacher got decked in the face because he was trying to stop a fight from happening. 2 guys got caught having sex while in the theater department prop closet. My teachers would literally let me skip class as long as I brought them food from the cafeteria vending machine. Oh yeah, and we had active shooter drills 3 times a month.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
In 2018, we had to go on lockdown because DaBaby shot somebody in the Walmart across from our school. Like, actually.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
I got this one. So boom. We used to have this experiment in science class where they gave you a cotton swab and you swabbed the inside of your cheek. Then you took that swab and you swiped it on a glass slide, and you put the slide under the magnifying glass so you can see your cheek cells. Well, one day we're in class doing the experiment, and this young lady looks at the teacher and she was like, "There's something wrong with my cheek cells. They're moving around and they have little tails." Teacher was like, looking perplexed. Goes over and looks in the magnifying glass, and he was like, yeah, those aren't cheek cells.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
Wow, I love this game. Let's see. My first gun-related school lockdown was in 3rd grade. If your school lunch balance was over 25 cents into the negative, you weren't allowed to get lunch or breakfast that day. Sorry kid, you don't get to eat. But when we did get to eat, we got hoagies with a single slice of turkey and a single slice of lettuce with a mayo packet on the side. In 6th grade, my science teacher always dressed up in really nice dresses and heels and would give extra credit for compliments. But sometimes she would just come in with a hangover and pop in a movie and take a nap at her desk. In 7th grade, a bunch of kids on my bus thought it would be a funny idea to throw gang signs out the window at this group of guys. They ended up being Crips and they tagged our bus. In 8th grade, one of my classmates threw hands with a substitute teacher. In my 3 years of middle school, we had 4 bomb threats. The first one was like in 6th grade, and I remember all of homeroom being gathered around one of the computer monitors watching our school on the news. Oh, and toilet paper in the bathrooms, soap in the soap dispensers, working sinks. We don't know her.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
Okay, so I went to a school in a predominantly white and predominantly rich area, so you can kind of imagine how, like, the popular girls are, like, they think they're the mean girls in real life. But I went to a high school where there was a middle school right across the street. So one day everyone gets told that we can go home because there's a threat of a school shooting at the middle school, which is right across the street, like literally a parking lot across, so obviously we would probably have to evacuate too. And like a couple of weeks later, the story comes out that a couple of the popular girls at the middle school made this girl that, you know, was like considered weird, I guess, go into the bathroom and write that she was going to shoot up the school on like a sticky note and leave it in the bathroom. And then one of the popular girls would like find it and report it so that they could evacuate school because they wanted to leave early to go shopping at the mall.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
My sophomore history teacher straight up told us she didn't believe in evolution because I didn't come from a monkey. The art club's budget for the entire year was $100. I once saw a teacher trying to hold back a student during a fist fight while also trying to eat a sandwich. History fair. Common Core. My 11th grade teacher had a bathroom pass that was a Uncle Sam bobblehead. The previously mentioned 10th grade history teacher pronounced Giuseppe Giuseppe. She also argued with my friend who is half Chilean about the proper pronunciation of the country Chile. I got engaged in a Chick-fil-A parking lot. I bought a prom dress for $20 at Charlotte Russe because otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford the ticket. According to my high school's dress code, armpits and toes were banned. In Florida. This might be a Leon-specific thing, but we made Breast Cancer Awareness Month like a huge deal.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
One time I walked into the school therapist's office, like, sobbing hysterically and just being like, I really want to die. I'm really, really fucking depressed. And she told me to come back the next day because she was busy. There was this one girl who had a corn snake, and she used to use the corn snake to scare substitute teachers whenever they were being shitty. One year, the entire Model United Nations class basically got put on probation because their parties went too hard and too many kids ended up in the hospital. When I moved from Japan, there were at least 30 kids who asked me how I knew English.
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
People hotboxed the bathroom constantly. My first day there, we had a bomb threat and we all had to leave. My friends accidentally set a starburst on fire and it exploded during a science lab and then we all had to evacuate. Drugs are just kind of prominent everywhere. Our choir department is now no longer allowed in Canada. I got hit in the head with a frozen milk carton and just kind of walked it off and went to class. Later found out my head was bleeding. Kids would wear costumes to school like constantly, and we also had like, you know, the furry kids. One teacher may have been the actual father of a student who at the time everyone thought was another teacher's kid. I don't know if that's true or not. One of my teachers appears on Dateline NBC because he had to prove that he didn't kill this woman he met over Christian mingle. I almost got taken down a flight of stairs when two guys were fighting and I almost just got swept up. Kid threatened to shoot up the school twice my senior year, was out on $1 million bail, was like 21, would constantly try to hit on 15-year-olds, and then was found over the summer with them.
There's no way home, and I have no mercy. There's no way up, so I'm going down. Still I keep on living, so you pull me closer. When I have no mercy. Let's carry on, no reasons to stop it. I wouldn't do it on my own, I can't deny it. Still trying to build and trying to be. When we